Hello, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. Today I am doing a comments video. As you can see, I'm not in my kitchen and I'm not in my office. I'm out in my shop. I've actually been out here doing some work. I'm getting some plumbing put in, and I'm getting the rest of the vent pipes for the drainage put in. So I've already finished off that side yesterday. I'm about to do this side today and just about get on it. But I wanted to do a nice comments video before I got up and running with that. Now, before I get going on some of the ones that I already have here that are live on this, rats, I don't think I did the right thing there. Back. Okay, before I get into that, there are some of them that I went ahead and printed out because of, they kind of stood out to me. And I love it when I get comments from people in other nations. Sometimes you'll see comments in my comment sections that are not written in English, and you'll see me reply to them, sometimes in English, sometimes in their language. It depends. What I like to do is I just use Google Translate. All right, it's just that simple. Copy, paste. You get your translation. You can make a reply, put it in their language, paste it back in there. That's all there is to it. Anyway, that's what I did here, and we have a guy that is, I believe, he's from Turkey, and this gentleman, and there's also a lady involved here, but they are writing to me, and anyway, it's Erkan, which is the name, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just doing my best. It's E-R-K-A-N, so I hope I'm getting that right. And if not, please forgive me. I'm just not good at that with names. But Erkan said to me, I can't read his language. I'll read the translation. For my other viewers, the translation to what you wrote is, would you consider going on the What Do We Eat on the Road show? So she finds those who cook very well, and you are one of them. My reply is, I'm honored that you would consider me, and I would need more information. Please use the email address on my channel About page. So yeah, if you want me to be on a show, I would love to do that. I don't have a restaurant, all right? So if you're looking for a restaurant for somebody to sit at, that's not going to happen. Because I am a YouTuber, and I film cooking shows right here at my home. By the way, that was my heater kicking on. So yeah, I've got heat and air conditioning in my shop too. We're working on all of this. All right, now the next one, and this is from the same person. They write in, she said, she is very good name in the kitchen of Texas today. Mr. Chef, we would like to live there, Texasta. Okay, Texas, I guess they're trying to say. And I replied, you might enjoy Texas. It has a rich cultural diversity and is large enough to not feel crowded. We also have no income tax, but there is a sales tax of 8.25%. Which really, trust me guys, you don't need a sales tax anywhere. Do a consumption tax. That's what we ought to do nationally, is a consumption tax. This business of being taxed on what you earn is wrong. So, and in Texas, we don't need that. We run this entire huge state strictly on sales tax. It works like a charm. All right, now, the same guy wrote in here. He says, it's good to hear from Turkey. Or I said, it's good to hear from Turkey, thank you. The translation to what he wrote was, well done, my friend. You take great care of your food. Love from Turkey, thank you. And I said, it's good to hear from Turkey, and it is. I appreciate you writing in. And his last comment that I'm going to read, there's a lot more in there, so feel free to look in my comments. And these have been on the beef ribs and the roast beef videos that I just posted. So on beef ribs, he writes in and says, it was a very nice video. Your kitchen arrangement and cooking your food is very delicious. Thank you. My response was, thank you. I appreciate that very much. My kitchen arrangement is definitely not common, all right? Most people in the United States take everything that they have and pile it in drawers and cabinets, and then when they want to cook, they go hunting and pecking to find what they want. I like it hanging there handy, just so I have to reach up and go at it. Very handy. Okay, it looks like my buddy Juan has been back on my channel again. You know, the guy that keeps writing in hateful stuff. And of course, now I've started printing them off because I want to, well, imagine that, I'm printing them off. Wonder why I would do that. Anyway, I'm going to be printing these off from now on. Juan writes in and he says, micro penis, get a wife. Actually, I'm already married. I'm not into polygamy and I'm not into whatever you are. So get some help, all right? Maybe some psychiatric help. You need someone to talk to, my friend. And this isn't healthy, all right? If you're focused on someone else that much, that's just not healthy. All right, now, get to these. Cornbread Fed writes in on the barbecue ribs video that I just did. And he said, not rocket science. You're right, it's not. Those ribs are so easy to cook. Just knock them out and go at it and enjoy it. Folks, enjoy that rib recipe because, you know, when you want ribs, but you don't want to get out and barbecue, you just don't want to go to a barbecue place, that's a really cool recipe and it makes it so much easier than people think it will be. All right, now, the All About Chilies video that I have, which is season 1, episode 177. A gentleman writes in from a channel called Dog Days, and he says, great information. I learned the difference about poblano and ancho peppers. That video, and I have another one on chilies. They will tell you everything you've ever wanted to know about chili peppers. It'll give you a good start to help you with a strong foundation, a base understanding of chilies, dried chilies, and what people are doing with them. So check that out. Let's see here. On my pork tenderloin video, Rob writes in, looks so yummy. It is, man. Hey, that pan-seared pork tenderloin with a bull rosé over the top of it, put that fennel with it and that beautiful rice. It's so easy to do, yet it's so elegant. Who would have guessed that's an easy weeknight meal, right? Anyway, thank you for writing in. On my butter sauce recipe, Jeff writes in, that looks like a nice low-carb keto sauce. Super. It is. Let me tell you, making butter sauces like hollandaise and béarnaise sauce, that is keto. It is. It's low-carb. It's high in fat, but it's still healthy, and it's so, so blessedly delicious. Enjoy those sauces. That's old world cooking too, let me tell you. Let's see, we got Erican that writes in a whole lot on that same video, and most of it I cannot read because it's in Turkish, so I'll have to translate those later. Do me a favor, sir, if you would. Take what you want to write on my channel, run it through the Google translator. It'll translate it to English for you, and you can just post it on my channel. Any errors I can probably read between the lines on, so go ahead and do that. Works real well. And you can communicate a lot easier with people all over the globe this way. Now on my breadsticks video, again, Erican writes in, however, can't read that one. I can read Carolyn's. She says, I bet those would come out good dipped in lye water like pretzel stick. Yeah, you take that grissini and you dip it in something like that and you get that hard coating on the outside. You know, it gives you that really crispy, crunchy outer unique flavor too. So do that, or you can dip it in like a heavy salt water, a brine solution. That would be very neat. Just do that right before baking. Now on the video I did that was relating to charcuterie boards, gentleman lady wrote in, I'm sorry, Mary. Mary writes in and she said, this is all spot on. Nothing worse than a stale, tired-looking charcuterie board. Everything has to be fresh and constantly replenished, even in a home setting. Take away the serving dishes, and refill and maybe return in smaller dishes. It all has to look filled. As far as sneeze guards go, they may not be doing a bit of good in preventing spreading germs. Sadly, an open buffet of sort is not that great anymore since the COVID outbreak. All of your suggestions are great. Well, let me explain something to you. The sneeze guard wasn't to stop somebody from getting the flu or the cold or COVID or anything else. Sneeze guards are to keep somebody's phlegm from landing in my salad, okay? Sneeze guards are there to keep that booger off of the bread. So use the sneeze guard, all right? They're very important. We need sneeze guards for charcuterie boards when they're done on a commercial setting. Otherwise, one person sneezes, boom, they've wiped out the whole board right there. And trust me, everybody in line behind them is going to see it and they're not going to want it. It'll ruin it for everyone. So just do that, please. My friend from Turkey has written in a whole lot. I've got a lot here from him, and I've got a lot to go through. I'm looking forward to getting those translated and reading them. Rob writes in that, and it was on my garlic video. He said, I've used a garlic press for years. I don't know why you're saying it changes the flavor. I like a garlic press because you don't get chunks of garlic when you're eating it. It distributes the garlic fruit wherever you're cooking. To each his own, I guess. You're right. But let me tell you something. Anytime you put any kind of an item in a press, whether it's an olive, whether it's a piece of garlic, whether it's a pimento, if you put something into a press and press it, the pressing action itself create that pressure, even though it doesn't feel like a lot just because your hand is squeezing it. The actual pressure that's there is incredible, and it causes chemical changes to occur. It causes things to happen that you're not fully aware of, and yes, it can change the quality of your garlic. It actually, what it does is it actually kind of dulls the flavor of the garlic. Won't lie about this. The same way as when it's pressed and then put in jars as minced garlic. That processing also kind of weakens the quality of the garlic. I didn't say it ruins it. It just doesn't have the same piquant side to it as that which has been minced. And if you try them side by side, you'll probably see exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you for writing in. I appreciate that, man. And folks, it doesn't matter what you write in. Just be polite about it. I'm good about that. You know, we've got some other guy that wants to write in and be hateful, but that doesn't mean anything. Ignore them. So do me a favor, write in and enjoy. On my southwestern chicken casserole recipe, I had several people write in. Jacob wrote in, LOL, the humble brag. No, I'm not speeding up the video. That's just me. Jacob, look, you don't know how many times I've taught how to mince garlic or shown people mincing garlic, and they'll say to me, you just sped up the video. That's what you were doing. You were speeding up the video. And it's like, no, I'm not speeding up the video. I just mince that way, all right? And once you get used to it, anybody can do that. You just got to practice, that's all. So, yeah, humble brag. It was more like, God, I'm tired of hearing this. So, Benito writes in on the chicken casserole. I make a version of this, but I learned something today. I can use chicken broth and cream. I usually put in cream of mushroom. Can't wait to substitute. You're right. Just think, you're going to get away from that nasty can of cream of mushroom soup. And I know you don't see it as nasty, but I see it that way because I've read the ingredients label. All right, I know what's in it. And let's face it, what's in your cream, you may have carrageenan in it, which comes from seaweed, and it helps to thicken it when it's cold. Normally cream isn't very thick, but Americans have this perception that it should be thick for whatever reason. Anyway, that's the reason they put carrageenan in cream. The minute the cream warms up to room temperature, it doesn't do its job right, and so it's just that. All right, so anyway, Karen writes in. Thank you so much on that. Thank you, Karen. You were very welcome. Enjoy that recipe. That chicken casserole is just so doggone good. Kat writes in, "Oh, how I love all your recipe ideas. Thank you." Kat, thank you. Thank you very much for writing in and for saying such a nice thing. That's really cool. Let's see, I'm going to do just a few more of these and then we're going to sign out here. But please write in on my videos and I will gladly get to you if I can. If you have something profound to say, I'll definitely try to get to it. Or if it's something out of the ordinary, I'll definitely try to include you. Charcuterie board video. The maestro writes in and he said, yes, indeed. At Texas de Brazil, we love adding the Grana Padano cheese to our lobster bisque. Now, see, here's the thing. I know who the maestro is. He's a friend of mine. All right, and he's a chef at Texas de Brazil there in Dallas, and that's an upscale Brazilian steakhouse. If you ever go to Dallas, try it out. The food is phenomenal there. So anyway, this guy keeps up with what I do and the work that I do, and you know, gleans from it what he can. But he's a top of the line, I mean, seriously top flight chef. Very, very good work he does. And I want to say to you, sir, thank you very much for writing in. And I hope y'all got married already. If you haven't, after your girlfriend. Haven't seen you in a while. Look forward to talking to y'all, okay? I'll be in Dallas. We're going to come and visit. Thank you very much for writing in. The Grana Padano cheese. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had Grana Padano and you get a chance to get it. Just buy it. Grana Padano should cost about the same or slightly less than Parmesan. It's in the same family of cheeses, the Grana family, but it's not as sharp or salty as Parmesan. It's a smoother, creamier cheese than Parm, and it's flat delicious. Yet it's still hard. It's a firm cheese. It has a sharp flavor to it, and I think once you try it, you'll be hooked. I was. And by the way, that's the top-selling cheese in Italy, so it's their most popular cheese. On my roast beef video, Evelyn writes in, "This dish looks delicious. I want to try making this sometime next week. I've never used tarragon before, so that would be a new experience. I like the idea of separating the vegetables and mashing the potatoes too. My only complaint is the gravy looks a bit too thin for me. Would you just cook it longer to thicken it up?" No, actually, the way I made that gravy was with the cornstarch. You could cook it longer, but I would just add another tablespoon of cornstarch in there. So in the liquid that I was mixing my cornstarch in, just to add a little more. And once you mix that into the gravy and give it a few minutes of cooking, once the color darkens, you're there. Okay, the gravy's done. So that's all there is to that. Thank you very much for writing in, Evelyn. And yeah, you're right. Pulling the vegetables out of a long roast like that and then mashing the potatoes rather than just throwing them on the plate, that's a whole different experience, a whole different flavor. You'll catch people off guard with that one and they will be pleasantly surprised. So try it if you haven't done it. Really good stuff. My barbecue ribs, Dawn writes in, "I live in Southern California and center cut beef ribs are hard to find. I would like to try this recipe." Let me tell you, you don't have to have it center cut. You can go with any cut beef rib you want. You know, certain cuts are a little more expensive than others, I'll admit. Just grab a rack of ribs and go at it. All right, and it's going to taste delicious. Use that same method. It just works. And by the way, don't worry, folks. We're going to get into some more smoking real soon here. We're going to break out the smoker and get at it. Don also wrote in on the same video. He said, when using alcohol like bourbon, the alcohol burns off, but the flavor remains. So it won't be a problem with people who don't like alcohol. Usually not. However, I have found that for some people it is. Just them thinking that there's alcohol in it triggers their alcoholism and they're back to drinking. So sometimes, and I learned that, you know, from working in a special care facility, you know, doing 20 years of work that I just finished doing as a lead engineer for that corporation. So I was around a lot of people with special needs, taking care of a lot of problems and solving problems for them. So yeah, for certain folks, it's an issue. However, for most people, yeah, you're right. That the alcohol cooks off. It leaves the flavor behind. Bourbon is only, it's 80% bourbon is only 40% alcohol. That isn't squat. So once that cooks off, and that's the first steam out of the pot, it's just flavored water. Folks, thank you very much for writing in. I really appreciate that. The last one, Dad writes in, he says, on my roast beef, great recipe. Thank you. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate you writing in. That was really cool. And keep tuned in, because I've got a lot more recipes coming. What I'm cooking today, oh, there's some slow cooking going on in there right now, and it's producing some phenomenal delicious. Thank you for watching. Please do me a favor, take a look right down underneath this in the description box. You're going to see some links to my website, my social media, my website where I sell my recipes, and other merchandise for Texas Cooking Today. Also, my social media, and there you're going to see my Patreon, as well as Wisio. Wisio is similar to Patreon, but instead of a monthly commitment, it's a one-time. Take a look at both of those. If you would like to help me out, it's very appreciated, and I'll make it worth your time. Thank you very much for watching this. Folks, you have a good day, and write in so I can use you in my next comments video. Bye-bye.